Hey guys, I'm Barrett, and today I'm going to give you an introduction to topspin. I'm going to teach you how to do the stroke so that you can start practicing and using this shot. Let's get started. All right, so here's kind of the bad news, or really just kind of the realistic news. Topspin is hard, okay? Today I'm going to give you kind of the basics that you can get started on, okay? But be patient with yourself. Look, I started learning topspin 6 years ago. There were no videos back then. There were no instructors or anything like that. I had to learn this stuff from scratch, and I did not come from a racket sport. Trust me, if I can do it, you can too, okay? Be patient with yourself. It's tough. Now, what is topspin? So I've got these really cool balls here, and I recommend buying some of these. These are just kind of like half-colored balls. These are from Gamma. I got these on Pickleball Central. And what these do is they allow you to see the spin like this. You see how that kind of works? I'll show you some footage of what that looks like. But these help you to understand the way spin functions, okay? Topspin is when the top of the ball revolves over itself, okay? So if we look at a ball that's traveling from here to here, okay, this would be topspin. See how the top of the ball revolves forward like that? See how it goes over itself? That's topspin. To show this the other way here, to go this way now, what happens is when the paddle comes up like this, it puts spin on the ball. See how that works? See that rotation there? That's topspin. I'm going to explain the function of topspin and how this works in just a second, but that's the mechanics of it. So as long as my paddle is coming up, I'm going to have topspin on it, so that when you hit the ball when it's traveling this way, that's topspin. So let me show you how this functions. Now, in order to show you what topspin looks like, I want to just show you this setup here. So I've got a cone back here on the baseline. That's going to be really important, but also it's on the center line too, okay? What topspin does, as the ball is traveling this way, as long as it has topspin on it, what's going to happen is it's going to bite once it reaches the apex of the shot, and then it's going to curve downwards quickly. What we're going to do is we're going to practice hitting shots from the other kitchen line to this spot in order to get used to this feeling. This is what topspin does, and what's very, very important to understand about topspin is that it allows you to hit the ball with more power and allows you to get more velocity on the ball. However, the spin, how the spin curves downward like that, is how you keep the ball in. So topspin allows you to hit the ball harder with more speed, but while also keeping the ball in. That is how topspin works, and that's why it is so important. The second reason why topspin is important is because when the ball strikes someone's paddle, so let's say that topspin is coming this way, all right? When it hits the paddle, it will so-called climb up the paddle and go up. So whenever you're receiving topspin and that ball hits your paddle, it goes up like that. That causes pop-ups and then allows you to put the ball away. Experienced players know when topspin is coming, they have to be more defensive. So it's a way of kind of diffusing your opponent's kind of offensive capabilities, basically. Okay, now let's learn how to do a basic, very, very basic topspin stroke. You don't need anything in your hands, no paddles, nothing like that. I'm gonna roll up my sleeve here so that you can see very clearly what my arm and wrist look like when I'm doing the stroke. This is the very basics here. I want you to pretend, and by the way, I've got a camera over here so that you can see it from this angle, okay? I want you to pretend that you've got water on your fingers. Pretend like you just washed your hands and you've got water, but you don't have a towel available. So what I want you to do is I want you to fling the water off of your hands like this. See this? Okay. You can see it from this angle too. See how I'm flinging my wrist down like that? Relax. Relax your wrist. Look at this. See how relaxed my wrist is? Fling your wrist down. This is so, so important, okay? Relax. You have to learn how to let go when it comes to this shot, okay? We'll talk about this in a little bit. So do that, okay? And all you're gonna do is wave high. Just wave high, like this. Really, really important from this angle here. Do not, when you wave high, don't come up here to your shoulder quite yet, as if you're serving. Don't do that quite yet, that's later. But just wave high. See that? Literally like that. And it's just a flop over of my hand like this. I want you to notice, very, very important, there's not a lot of movement in my upper arm and in my shoulder here. A lot of this topspin stroke is with your elbow, your forearm, and your wrist. We say many, many times in pickleball, don't use your wrist. Not true. It's just fundamentally not true. There will be times when you have to use your wrist. So you flung the water off of your hand, and now you wave high. That is going to be the basic stroke. Now, grab your paddle. So now that we've got our paddle, I got to teach you the grip. The grip is super, super simple. Grab the paddle all the way at the top like this, put it down by your side like this, and I want you to watch. Start to let go of the paddle. Let go, let go, let go, let it sink down, sink down, sink down. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna stop once the paddle gets to the very bottom of your hand like this. That is the grip. Notice how my fingers come diagonally up the paddle. That's the continental grip, I should have said. Okay, I'll put a little note on the screen. That's the continental grip. Notice how there's a capital V in my hand and this capital V points towards my chin. That's continental. In order to do a topspin grip, all you're gonna do is you're gonna rotate your hand to the right. If you're lefty, it'll be to the left, so watch. See that? Just rotated it to the right like that. I know that's gonna be kind of hard to see. To the right. And now this capital V is pointing towards my right shoulder. That's the topspin grip. You gotta have it. You can't not have a topspin grip. So now that we have that grip set, you're gonna do the exact same thing. You're gonna fling water off of your paddle like this, right out in front of you, wave high. And that is it. That's the basic topspin stroke, and that's where I'd like for you to get started. Fling the water off, wave high. Later on, you're gonna swing the paddle back further, back here, and you're gonna come up to your shoulder, just not right now. Start simple, start easy. Fling the water off of your paddle, fling. Notice how relaxed my wrist is. Look at this, okay? See that? See how relaxed I am? I want you to notice something. I've showed this in my videos before. Look at my left arm. See how it's doing that? I can't do one or the other. Got to do both at the same time, but that's how it is. You got to relax, and then fling. Again, notice how there's not a lot of motion with my upper arm and my shoulder. A lot of it is in your wrist and your forearm. So fling down, wave high. Now, let's grab a ball. Now, don't worry, I'm gonna show this to you from multiple angles here, okay? But what you're gonna do is you're gonna stand at the tee at the kitchen line, all right? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna have your paddle directly over that tee. That's how we're gonna practice this stroke. And you're gonna self-feed. Do not bounce the ball. We're not getting started with that yet. It's easiest to self-feed, so make sure you have that topspin grip, fling your paddle down, and wave high. I totally just hit my camera. Sorry if that scared you a little bit, but hey, that's how it works sometimes. So again, down and like this. Notice how there's hardly any upper arm motion. Now, what you just saw there, especially from this angle, is you saw me come up to my shoulder. Yep, I'm so used to this that's just how, that's how I do it, right? But I don't want you to do that quite yet. I just want you to wave high. So I want you to watch it from this angle now. So again, we're on the kitchen line, ball is directly over the tee, fling your paddle down, fling it down, wave high, and that is it. What will happen when you get started with this is your paddle or the ball will likely go into the net. Don't worry about that. That's a really common mistake. We'll talk about that later though, okay? So down, up like that. Now again, you saw me come with my shoulder. I can't help it, but that's how the basic stroke works. So I want to show you the way the spin works. Now keep in mind, the camera has a specific frame rate, so you may not be able to see the spin kind of properly here, but I hope you saw that. You see how the ball was revolving over itself. That's what topspin looks like, and that's exactly how we're going to drill this shot. So what you're going to do is you're going to try to hit that cone by feeding yourself these topspin volleys right over the tee at the kitchen line, like this. And you're looking to get to brush up on that ball. The way you brush up is by waving high. Convince yourself that you want to wave high on the ball. One very important thing I want you to notice here is I want you to notice how I'm not pushing the paddle forward. That's how you hit the ball flat. If you push the ball too far forward, you're gonna hit it out. So notice how I'm coming up on the ball like that instead. That is the important bit. Once you're starting to get comfortable with this stroke, you can really start to come up to your shoulder. I've been telling you to do something and I haven't been doing it, to be honest. Let's be frank here, okay? But when you're comfortable, you can begin to really come up here to your shoulder like that and give it some extra oomph. And this is where things get really fun, because what you can do is you can test yourself and you can see how hard can you hit the ball without it going out. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to kind of hone in your sights and figure out, okay, how hard can I actually hit this ball without it going out? And that will let you know how effective topspin is going to be for you. The most common trouble area for people who are trying topspin for the first time is with that feeling of deflection. So what will happen is when people start doing this for the first time, they'll be doing this brush up motion, right? But they'll mishit it, or it'll dump into the net, or they'll even hit it directly on the top of the edge guard like this. Very, very common. That is purely a repetition issue. You just have to get your reps in and you have to trust the motion. Topspin is, and spin in general, it's all about faith. You have to trust the fact that your stroke and the spin itself is going to do the job for you. I know that's hard, but that's how it works. You either do topspin or you don't. There's no middle ground. So when you're doing this motion, don't do it slowly. Just do it. Just go. You just have to do it. Another area that really gets people, and I mentioned this earlier, is they try to push the paddle too far forward. So they'll push the ball like that and try to do topspin. The problem is that if you push your paddle forward like this, you're giving the ball forward trajectory. And what happens is the velocity, because it's going so fast, topspin won't have enough time to make the ball curve down, especially in a situation like this where we're only at the kitchen line. The baseline to baseline is a little bit different, you know, with like serves and so on. But when you're doing topspin, really make sure that you're coming down. That's why we fling the water off our hands, down, and then up. And you have to come down to up, wave high. All right, guys, that's topspin. That's the basics. Try to practice that little volley. And when you're comfortable, you can actually start to use that little volley stroke if you'd like to. But try to keep those fundamentals in mind. Be patient with yourself. If you want to come train with me, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.